Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bianca if you are new, and welcome to my August TBR. So for the month of August, there's the Magical Readathon, which is a month-long readathon. So I will be going over the prompts and my books for those. But before I get into that, there are a few books I want to read alongside of those. So the first one is My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. This is one I've heard mixed things about, but I kind of want to try it. I read Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey in December of last year, and I enjoyed it. So it's pretty short, so I figure why not pick it up. This is about a woman who goes on a vacation with her brother, and they discover there are holes cut into, I believe, the bathroom, and then they discover a body in the laundry room, I believe it is. And it turns out that is the landlord for the place that they rented. So the sister of the landlord hires a bounty hunter to come and investigate, because she just does not believe that her brother is the one who cut those holes and was the peeping Tom. And then there's a connection between the two. So I don't know how I'm gonna like it, but it seems kind of like thrillery along with being a romance, so we'll see how that goes. The next book that I want to pick up is another romance. This one came out this year and it was on my most anticipated. This is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I believe it follows a publisher and an author. Oh no, a publisher and an editor. So they keep running into each other, and they run into each other in a small town, and then they finally get to know each other. And I've heard it's really cute, and I've seen like highlighted, annotated parts on Instagram, so I very much look forward to picking this up, and I love a good book about book lovers. And the final book I have before we get into my readathon TBR is The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. This was my book of the month choice for July, and it just sounds so good. So I think it follows Jack Stapleton is an actor, I believe, and he needs a bodyguard because he's garnered a lot of attention. And here comes Hannah, who looks more like a kindergarten teacher than a bodyguard, but he doesn't want to worry his family. So it's got fake dating, and who doesn't love a bodyguard romance? And I love it even more because the girl is the bodyguard, and that just sounds amazing. So I very much look forward to picking this up. And it seems like a relatively quick read. I mean, it's like 305 pages, so it should be pretty quick. And then we get into my Magical Readathon TBR. The Magical Readathon is hosted by G from Book Roast, and it is the autumn equinox, which sounds fun. So for this one, you are going for your second semester qualifications. So first semester you had to read a book per prompt. This one you have to read the books to qualify for the grades that you need. So the grades include an O for ordinary, a Q for qualified, and a D for distinguished. So the two classifications I'm going for are Spell Sword and Mage Hunter. The good thing is that these two kind of cross for some of the classes. So for Spell Sword, I need a Q in Animal Studies, an O in Demonology, a Q in Restoration, and an O in Spells and Incantations. So this means I have to read an O and a Q in Animal Studies, one for Demonology, an O, 2 in Restoration, an O and a Q, and an O in Spells and Incantations. So that's 6 books in total for Spell Sword. So the classes I need to take for O, the class is Study of Familiars, and the prompt for this is read a book with a familiar or animal companion. So for this one I have 2, because I have a book that qualifies for this, but I'm not sure if I want to pick it up before the readathon. So this book is Julia and the Shark by Kieran Millwood Hargrave. This book sounds so good, and I love sharks, so I cannot wait to pick this up. I've had it on my shelf for a couple months, and I want to pick it up so bad, but I was kind of waiting for summer to do it. So This is, on the back it says, "My name is Julia. This is the story of the summer I almost lost my mom and found a shark older than trees. Don't worry though, that doesn't spoil the ending." So this just sounds really cute and wholesome, and I kind of really want to pick it up. So I might pick this up before August 1st. And if I do, my backup for animal studies familiars is to pick up another book from the Oxford Magic Kitten Mysteries. This is a series I've mentioned before on my channel. It's a paranormal cozy mystery and it's really cute. It follows Astra, who is a witch, and she moves to a small town where her aunt left her house, and she opens a familiars shelter, a demon familiar shelter. So this is for familiars who were abused, and she wants to help them find their forever homes. But on the day of her opening, the inspector that was coming to inspect her shelter gets blown up, and she has to figure out who it was before this impacts the opening of her shelter, and she has to close down. And her helper, and her only help, is the sheriff of the town, who is a silver dragon named Sin, and also her neighbor. She also has a really cute demon familiar black cat named Satan, who is so cute and funny. So those are my choices for study of familiars. And then for my O qualification, the class is Familiars Raven, and the prompt is the book has to have a raven on the cover or raven in the title. I did both. I have the Ravens by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page. And this is a like witchy sorority that I believe there's something going on with their powers or something, and the girls have to work as sisters to overcome whatever's happening on campus at their college. So I really wanted to pick this up. This has been on my TBR forever, and then I cannot wait to pick up The Monarchs, which it follows this. So I've heard great things. Cannot wait to get to it. Hopefully I finally read it, because like I said, it's been on my TBR a bunch of times and I have not read it. And then we go to Demonology, which I only need an O in, and the class for that is Imp Wrangling. And for this, it's Read a Fantasy. So I chose to pick up The Hazelwood by Melissa Alpert. And I don't know much about this, but I've heard amazing things, and I really have wanted to pick it up for a couple of years. Well, since it came out. It gives me very Alice in Wonderland vibes. So I do want to pick that up. And I have that borrowed from Kate from Kindle Unlimited. Then my next class, I have to do an ordinary and a qualified. So for restoration, the ordinary class is object restoration, and the prompt for this is a single object as the focus of the cover. For this one, I chose Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch. This follows a young girl who just lost her mother, and she travels to Italy to meet her estranged father, which was like her mother's dying wish, and she finds romance and herself in Italy. This is also a new, I believe it's a movie, but it might be a series on Netflix that I really wanted to watch, but I want to read it first. So Love and Gelato, the main item on the cover is ice cream. So I chose that. Then for qualified, it is Enchanted Scroll Mending, and for this prompt, it is one of the oldest books on your TBR. I might have twisted this a little. I've had this book on my TBR since last year, but this looks horrible. But I've started it, and I need to finish it. So this is The Shadow of Night by Deborah Harkness. This is the second book in the All Souls trilogy, which includes a Discovery of Witches as the first book. This follows Diana Bishop, a witch, and Matthew Claremont, a vampire, as they're searching for Ashmole 287 and trying to protect themselves against the other witches, vampires. There's also demons. And they have a romance, so it's cute. Can't tell you about this one because of spoilers, but I have wanted to finish this for so long, so that's why I picked that one. The next class I have to take is Spells and Incantations, and for this one, it's just an ordinary, and the class is Spell Recolor, and you have to use a color wheel and pick a book matching said color. Now I did this, but I did not screen record it, but I did take a picture. And for this, I got a light green color, and the book I chose is Garden Spells by Sarah Addison Allen. I've heard amazing things about this, mostly from Kaylin Abridged on YouTube. I will link her vlog up here. This book sounds amazing. I have read the first chapter, and if you can see, I've already tabbed it so much, and that's just the first chapter. But it sounds so interesting, and it very much gives me like Practical Magic vibes. This follows Claire Waverly, who lives in her family home. Her grandmother has passed away. Her sister ran away when she was 18 years ago, and she hasn't seen her since. Her only family is her aunt, Evanelle, and she is a caterer, and she makes amazing food from mystical plants that she grows in her garden. And she has an apple tree that everybody in town wants to get a bite of. So this just sounds amazing. And then her sister comes back with a child of her own, and they have to figure out how to live together again, and Claire has to figure out how to open her heart again, because she has closed it from being hurt so many times as a child. So this just sounds amazing. I cannot wait to finish it. I cannot wait to read it. It's gonna be really hard to put off picking up this book again until August. And those were my books for Spell Sword. Now, you only have to do one career, but because I'm me, I can't pick or choose which one I want to do more, so I also did Mage Hunter. And for this one, you need a D in Spells and Incantations, which is distinguished, which means you have to read all 3 books. You have a qualified in Conjuration, which means you need to read 2, and you have an O in Restoration, which means you need to read 1. So for Spells and Incantations, I already said I was gonna pick up Garden Spells for my ordinary. For qualified, the incantation is Echo, and you find someone else's TBR and pick a book from theirs. So for this one, I chose to use books from Chloe's, I believe it was her TBR shelf video. I will leave it tagged up above. And on her TBR shelf, she has The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, and I've been meaning to pick this up for a long time, so I figured this was a great opportunity. I believe this has to do with a woman who finds herself in the Midnight Library, and she has a chance to write all the things she thinks she did wrong in her life, so she can go back and change decisions that she made that she thinks she made the wrong one, and change her life because she's not currently happy. So I think this is gonna be maybe not a fun read, but an enlightening one, and it's one I've had on my TBR for a long time. And for Distinguished, it's a hex and it's tongue-tied, and you have to annotate this book. So I might annotate this book, or I might twist it a little and I might annotate this one since I'm already doing it. It really depends on how I feel once I get into this one. Then you have Conjuration, and I have to do Ordinary and Qualified. So for Ordinary, it's the Foundations of Necromancy, and you have to read a book with necromancy as a theme. So for this one, I chose Secret Legacy. I don't remember much about this book. There was something about it that really interested me. I think she used to go to like a boarding school for the supernatural or something. The reason I picked it up was because it is marketed as a Discovery of Witches meets Lock and Key. And it follows a woman who got an acceptance letter to Windhaven Academy. And she discovers she has an incredible power that spans centuries. She just didn't know it. But unleashing her power is just the beginning. There are forces bigger than anything she ever imagined, and they're coming for her. Sure, Windhaven Academy is a school for supernaturals, but what she is will provoke an ancient curse that will pit her against fate. And now no one is safe. That just sounds amazing. And it is part of a series. I think there are 4 books in the series. So I was able to get that off Kindle Unlimited, so I very much look forward to picking that up. And then there is Qualified, which is Tales the Bone Tell, and this is bone on a cover or in the title. Again, I did both for this, and I chose The Maze of Bones by Rick Riordan. This follows, I believe it's 2 siblings who are orphaned, and their aunt dies, leaving the siblings to compete with the rest of their family for their Inheritance. So this very much gives me like Inheritance games and Knives Out vibes. But I don't think there's a murder mystery because children. But they have to race around the world to find cryptic clues to the fortune. So it's like a treasure hunt. But there are lots of books in this series. So I borrowed this one from the library. And this series includes like 11 books, I think. I think it's 11 books. But it just sounded really interesting. And again, it gave me like the Inheritance games vibes. And I love the Inheritance games. So I wanted to pick that up. And then my final class for Mage Hunter is again Restoration, which I have to get an O in, which is similar to the O I have to get in Spell Sword. So for this one, I chose Love and Gelato again. So that is my TBR. There are a lot of books. And this isn't even all of them because a lot of them are ebooks. So these are just some of the books that I want to read this month. The other ones are Kindle Unlimited books or library books, and is a lot. I'm probably not going to get to all of it. It's just what I want to read this month as opposed to what I have to read this month. So let me know down below, are you participating in the Magical Readathon? If you are, what are you going for and what class books are you going to read for them? Also, let me know if you are just picking books for August and what you're going to read. I'd love to have some new recommendations. And I love to talk to you guys in the comments section down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Have a great day or night wherever you are, and don't forget to pick up a good book. Bye.